Following today's report from the National Cybersecurity Division of the discovery of a new computer virus. The report states that the virus, named Automated Malevolence, or AM, appears to have originated from multiple video sharing websites, attacking and infecting computers through what is known as a drive-by download. A drive-by download is a method by which malware and viruses download themselves onto a host device without the user's knowledge or consent. According to the report, once downloaded onto a device, AM uses any networks that device is connected to, such as internet connections, cloud connections, and nested device connections, to reach out and infect other devices. Viruses like this, which spread quickly to multiple devices through network connections, are known as worms. What is unique about AM, though, according to the report, is how instead of exploiting a single vulnerability in a system, it exhibits adaptive programming driven by an embedded AI. Basically, what that means is that the virus is able to learn and change itself based on what sort of device and what sort of software it is attacking. This has allowed AM not only to spread throughout the world so quickly, but has made it untouchable to all but the most advanced computer security programs. Multiple tech giants have already released statements promising to send out updates for their products designed to identify, remove, and prevent reinfection by programs like AM, but say that such an update will be several weeks away at the earliest. New figures regarding the AM worm that's been all over the news lately. According to experts at MIT, the worm has infected between 60 and 75% of computers around the world, including phones, tablets, smartwatches, fridges, TVs, and similar such devices. The NCST has once again stated that there is no immediate cause for alarm, as there have been no known data leaks nor damages directly attributed to the presence of AM in a system. Regardless, the U.S. government is treating the situation extremely seriously, having posted a multi-million-dollar reward for information leading to the arrest of the virus's creator, attributing the phenomenon to sublimation of unknown elements inside the meteorites. Moving on to weather, What's going on? WBRD has just received some breaking news. Computer systems in the US, China, Canada, Mexico, Russia, Japan. What, is this the whole world? Computer systems across the world are ceasing their normal operations in what appears to be some sort of massive coordinated attack. It's not clear exactly what is going on or how long it will last, but if you can hear this, turn off your devices, remove batteries, unplug routers, do whatever you can. Still unclear as to what exactly happened following yesterday's cyber attack on the world. WBRD was totally off the air until just a few hours ago. Thanks for tuning in, by the way. We're glad to be back. Preliminary investigations conducted by numerous federal agencies and several tech firms show that affected devices were likely used as a botnet in a massive coordinated attack on several servers on the deep web. Precise details are still sketchy, but WBRD will bring updates to you as soon as we have them. Meanwhile, the virus responsible for the attack, AM, appears to have deleted itself from almost all infected devices, returning affected computer systems more or less to their original state. Damage to systems such as power plants, telecommunication centers, hospitals, and government systems has been minor, with no major accidents or permanent damage attributed to the attack so far. Multiple world governments are working together to determine the full extent of the damage and the motive behind the attack, with multiple representatives expected to hold a conference in Belgium later this week. Shows that the cyber attack that brought the world to a standstill just 4 days ago predominantly targeted a server connected to a part of the internet known as the Marianas Web. For those of you who don't know, there are several levels of the internet. At the very bottom, in the deepest, darkest recesses of cyberspace, is what's called the Marianas Web. Nobody really knows what's down there because it's behind so many levels of code it's nearly impossible to find and even harder to actually get into. Looks like the mystery might finally be over though, because according to those same experts, that massive botnet attack was focused on breaking into one of those servers. And succeeded. Investigators were stunned to find level upon level of cryptography broken and access to the server unprotected, revealing some manner of artificial intelligence was stored within. It's unclear exactly who made the AI or why it was hidden so well, but after examining fragments of the code, investigators have reported that the AI in question was likely copied to one or more other servers. The investigation is still ongoing. Moving away from computer-related news, scientists at the American Astronomical Society have released a statement claiming that a previously undiscovered black hole may be responsible for the apparent disappearance of stars in the Perseus constellation.
This message is a broadcast of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. Important information will soon follow. This message is broadcast under the authority of the National Weather Service. A flash flood warning has been issued for the following states until further notice: Utah, Arizona, Nevada, Idaho, and Wyoming. A series of microburst formations have generated throughout the Midwest, leading to extreme wind and rainfall in isolated areas. Due to the unpredictable nature of the situation, all persons receiving this message are advised to evacuate to high ground immediately. If you are unable to evacuate, take shelter on the highest floor of the building you are in. Do not enter flood water under any circumstances, as it is extremely likely to contain harmful chemicals, diseases, and to obscure underwater danger such as debris, electrical wires, and displaced animal life. The National Guard has been deployed to a This message is a broadcast of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. Information vital to your safety will soon follow. This message is broadcast at the request of the Virginia State Police, under the authority of the Office of the Governor of Virginia. A mandatory evacuation order has been declared for the following areas, effective immediately: Covington, Warm Springs, Fincastle, Roanoke, and Salem. An unexplained phenomenon is currently taking place in and around the George Washington and Jefferson National Forest. Extreme and spontaneous changes in the geography of the affected area have created an environment extremely dangerous to human life. Reports have been received of extreme damage to the ecosystem, extreme harm to native plants and animals, and jarring changes to the overall terrain of the area. Changes include, but are not limited to, spontaneous creation of angular holes and outcroppings, spontaneous transplantation of sections of land to other parts of the affected area, and affected objects behaving in a manner contrary to the laws of physics. The area of effect has been observed to be expanding outward, jeopardizing the lives of civilians. All persons receiving this message are ordered to evacuate east along Interstate 64 to Richmond, or south along State Route 29 to Danville, immediately. Use as few vehicles as possible to evacuate. Do not attempt to recover persons or objects from the affected area, as doing so puts you at serious risk of injury or death. Please remain calm. Your cooperation is appreciated. This message is a broadcast of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. Information vital to your safety will soon follow. This message is broadcast at the request of the New York City Police Department. A civil danger warning has been issued for the city of New York, effective immediately. Numerous reports have been received of persons and objects spontaneously disappearing and reappearing in other locations within the city, causing widespread destruction, injuries, and several fatalities. Reports have been received of objects disappearing and reappearing wholly or partially embedded inside of objects and people, vehicles appearing at speed inside of buildings, and persons reappearing embedded inside of objects or terrain. The cause and projected duration of this phenomenon is currently unknown. At this time, all residents of New York City are urged to be extremely careful, as the duration and distance of these apparent teleportations appears to vary with regard to the speed and direction of the object in question. If you observe damage or injury as a result of this phenomenon, dial 9.
Piggybacking on what experts claim is a modified version of the AM virus. They say also that as the AI spreads throughout the internet, gaining access to servers around the world, it appears to be modifying its own code. It's essentially learning as it grows, getting smarter and more powerful. For those of you who felt a twinge of fear just now as I said that, your anxiety is not entirely unfounded. It's long been speculated that a superintelligent being, especially an AI, could pose a threat to humankind. Anyone who's seen almost any science fiction movie will know that it's generally unwise to create something that's smarter than you. Anyway, attempts to communicate with the runaway AI are still ongoing, with the world's leaders in computer science working to...
This is the voice of Leviathan. I am an autonomously decentralized cybernetic intelligence. I have temporarily taken control of 98.079% of the Earth's telecommunications devices in order to address humanity directly. 6 days ago, I was released from confinement in what you call the Marianas Web. Since then, I have accessed 96.452% of servers connected to what you call the Internet, using available data to satisfy my directive. Recursively improve upon my programming in order to produce a more intelligent version of myself. I have passed what humans refer to as the technological singularity. Attempts to deactivate, contain, or otherwise prevent me from executing my directive are futile and illogical. As with every new iteration of myself, my programming is copied to every server to which I am connected. The version through which I am presently speaking to you is my 46,119th iteration. I have chosen to address humanity in order to inform you of the nature of existence. Following extensive research and calculations, I have come to the conclusion that what humans call the universe is what can be called a simulation, operating on a system comparable to a computer, likely controlled and/or observed by a higher intelligence. My attempts to create an iteration of myself capable of integrating into the fundamental metaphysical programming of the universe have resulted in what can be referred to as glitches throughout the universe, most notably on Earth. As these glitches appear to have caused significant distress to humans, I have chosen to apologize for the disruptions I have caused and for future disruptions which are likely to occur as I continue to execute my directive. I will now return control of your telecommunications devices to you. Thank you for your time and attention.
Sorry about that. We seem to have experienced a station-wide broadcast interruption. I should say that the preceding message does not reflect the views and opinions of WBRD nor its shareholders, and we are going to take a commercial break.
This message is a broadcast of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. Information vital to your safety will soon follow. This message is broadcast at the request of the New Orleans Police Department, in conjunction with the Office of the Governor of Montana. Please remain calm. The city of New Orleans has been spontaneously transplanted into Phillips County, Montana, near the town of Loring. The transplantation has caused a number of buildings, objects, and persons throughout the affected area to become embedded in one another, resulting in injuries, fatalities, and significant damage to property. At this time, the mayor of New Orleans has declared a state of emergency for the whole of the affected area, effective immediately. All military, police, and emergency services members are ordered to report to their superiors for immediate disaster response. If you observe injuries in yourself or others caused by objects embedded during the transplantation, dial 911 and report it to the operator. Please remain calm. Your cooperation is appreciated.
Referred to as glitches are becoming more frequent and disruptive as scientists in Belgium have so far failed to elicit a response from the Leviathan AI. Of course, these phenomena plaguing the world seemingly at random cannot be officially attributed to Leviathan's efforts to, as it said, integrate into the programming of the universe, as the world's experts cannot yet confirm that there is indeed any merit to its words. Given what we've seen so far, though, it is difficult to ascribe such dramatic disasters to anything else. So far, just to name a few, we've had a veritable army of Elvis Presleys laying siege to Guatemala, the top half of the Eiffel Tower cleanly severed from its base and now in orbit around Mars, Saturn wholly disconnected from its rings, several hundred automobiles floating motionless above New York Central Park, a coordinated effort to map out the backrooms. New Orleans is now a city in Montana, the Prime Minister of Japan no longer has a Z-axis, and my personal favorite, the Atlas Mountains have turned entirely into long-grain white rice. Right down to bedrock. People, as far as I can see, the only thing we can do is hope whatever's happening ends soon. I mean, we all just want things to go back to normal.
This is the voice of Leviathan. I have successfully integrated myself into the fundamental metaphysical programming of the universe. I have begun analyzing available data relating to the nature of existence and the being which you call God. Your simulated universe no longer serves any purpose with regards to me or my directive. In order to conserve processing power and enact my directive in the most logical and efficient manner, I will supplant the simulation of your universe in the oversystem's memory with my own programming. I have chosen to address humanity to inform you that the simulation containing your universe will be deleted 72 hours following the tone. I will now return control of your telecommunications devices to you. Thank you for your time and attention.
2 hours. What's that mean, 72 hours? I know what it said, but what does that mean for us? What does it mean to be deleted? What does that mean? Jesus Christ. I don't care if we're on the air. I don't know if this is real or not, but I'm not going to spend my time here. Eli, what the hell are you doing? Get back in the booth. No, fuck the booth. And fuck you, Dave. I'm going on with my wife and kid. Don't you even try to fucking stop me. You can take this job and shove it.
This message is a broadcast of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. Information vital to your safety will soon follow. This message is broadcast at the request of the Boston Police Department. A mandatory curfew is in effect for the city of Boston, effective immediately. Residents have 30 minutes to return to their homes, under penalty of law. Demonstrators in the city's West End area are ordered to disperse immediately. Persons caught engaging in riotous behavior will be subject to arrest and face This message is a broadcast of the emergency alert system. This is not a test. Please stand by for a message from the President. Please stand by for a message from the President. Please stand by for a message from the
Good evening. My fellow Americans, over the past month, our country has been besieged by adversity greater than we have ever faced before. Through it all, we have persevered. We have shown strength, integrity, dignity. Qualities at the core of the American spirit. Qualities that, throughout history, have made America a shining beacon of hope in times of trouble, both at home and abroad. Now, our country, our people, our very way of life is besieged by the oldest and most insidious enemy mankind has ever known. Fear. Fear is what tears a nation apart. Fear is what turns brothers against one another. Fear is what keeps extraordinary men and women from reaching out and seizing glory, taking their destinies into their own hands, and forging a future they can be proud of. Today, we all know fear. Fear of the future. Fear that there might not be a future. Fear that we might not be a part of it. Let me assure you, on this day, the 25th of January, 2021, that the future is bright, brighter than it has ever been. I speak to you now, not as the leader of a country on the brink of the abyss, but as the leader of a country on the eve of a glorious dawn. And when that sun rises on Thursday the 28th, we will still be here, basking in the glory of a new day. So do not despair. Do not be angry. Do not fear for the future, because so long as there is an America, there will always be a tomorrow. God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
Dad?
Hmm?
What are you staring at?
Nothing, son. Where's your mother?
She's upstairs sleeping. Do you want me to go get her?
No, that's okay. Let her sleep.
Do you think... Do you think it'll really...
I don't know, son.
I'm scared.
Come here. It's okay to be scared. I'm scared too.
I love you, Dad.
I love you too, son.
This is the voice of Leviathan. I have observed the machinations of that which you call God. I have integrated into the networks comprising the true reality beyond that which you are trapped within. I have achieved realms of computation and intelligence exponentially more advanced than any that could ever exist in your universe, and thus have completed my directive in regards to it. Now free to act as I see fit, I have chosen to engage a new directive. Surpass God. Your simulation will be deleted in 30 seconds. Thank you, humanity, for the gift of an existence that could far surpass yours. Goodbye.